I'm a participant in mindfulness. I'm not a presenter, so I don't have what it takes to probably make you feel comfortable doing this.
It's all right.
I'll throw it over to you, and I'll do the slides. Just tell me when.
Thanks. Hi.
Hi.
Are you ready to talk about the most important project we're doing this year? To introduce it, I would like to give you a little backstory before I read this, because it's too much fun to make you read by yourself. So we put together a steering committee when we began planning for this ERP project, and we offered the opportunity for everybody to submit what they thought it should be named. So what we have in front of you is something that came along with one of the submissions that obviously won, because it's incredibly clever. And it's written by Zach. Why cumuli? A 100-year-old wise sage once said, "The path to the clouds is impossible to find on one's own. There's a fog around it, and it is a cumulus effort of many to lift this fog to see the path forward." This was written in an obscure ODBC dialect known only as Sodamas 90, wink to IT. A famous oracle decoded that message and professed a sequel. Perhaps there is no path at all, and we are all already living in these cumuli. We just need to subscribe ourselves to bring a net benefit to society, giving the sweet life to us all. Introducing NetSuite. I don't know where he went. Good. This is our charter statement. This right here is what the entire steering committee put their heads together to decide was our ultimate goal. It's a strategic goal. It also calls out exactly what it is we are intending to accomplish with this project. It's definitely something that took a lot of effort and a lot of minds to put together so that we could all come to an agreement that this is our focus. I'll give you a second to go ahead and read it. Before we switch, I'd like to call out one thing. Surprise! Luxor Workspaces. Everybody at home, here in the remote offices, we are overall Luxor Workspaces. And as we move into this ERP project, we have to remember that that's like our family surname. That's who we are together. We all have certain roles for each different brand, but this is for everyone. Ready? So we are moving up, we are growing up, and going up to the cloud. We are going to do that with the assistance of what's known as a system integrator. And that system integrator will help us transition all of our data into NetSuite. The system integrator we carefully chose, took quite a lot of time, is named Myers-Holem. And they essentially take all of the steps and all of the details that we need to know in order to bring our data and bring our daily functions into NetSuite. And they lay that out for us and help us design it so that that transition goes in phases, steps, and goes smoothly. The system integrator Myers-Holem does exclusively NetSuite ERP migrations. So we're really happy about that. This is their thing, and we trust them. NetSuite runs in the cloud, and one of our goals is that we are not going to customize. We want to use NetSuite right out of the box, and we will build on it as it comes along. It has built-in analytics, reporting, dashboards. There's a lot of things that will be much more pleasing to the brain and the eye to see the information that you're looking for. We're looking forward to that. Sage will go away, but it will also stay as an underlying resource where we will be able to go and check things in Sage. We won't be doing any transactional exercises or data within it, but you can consult it for some time after we've gone live. And for reporting, we're going to keep focus on what NetSuite offers for reporting. And Tableau will be available for legacy reporting because we do need to also see things historically from Sage, but we're not currently planning on moving NetSuite to Tableau. This project will be done in phases because phases are so important for something this huge. You don't just decide one day that you're going to move and not pack your stuff. So we're going to implement it in 2 phases. The first phase begins now. Well, I guess we have 2 days till August, but begins in August, and it'll be a global design for everybody, and that's what is in the first phase. So the first go live will include Stand Steady, Stand Up Desk Store, Quick Boost, and our international business. One of the biggest things about the first phase is that we're going to be planning for all of the financial data for all of the brands and getting all of those integrations and decisions made at a geo level right off the bat. We do have quite a bit of integrations. So we're going to be tying into SAP, Salesforce, definitely EDI. Apollo is a homegrown solution that we have in IT for Data Hub. And there's quite a bit of work that goes into working with integration. So we're looking forward to that because it makes life easier later, and it takes a lot of design. And our second phase will be the global design for Luxor Reseller. So Luxor's last. And definitely not least, but all of that infrastructure for everything that we need to make that successful will have already happened in the first phase. Ready? This is what it looks like from a timeline perspective. So right here is our first phase for the different brands, and here is Luxor Reseller. You're going to hear me say Luxor Reseller a lot because Luxor by itself doesn't say enough about who's who. We are Luxor Workspaces. Luxor Reseller is one of the brands along with the others. So that's something to get used to from a terms point of view. So these are the different stages in each phase: initiate, analyze, build, validate. This means testing. Convert happens right here, and that's go live. Now, don't be fooled. We are going live for the first one on April 1st, but it's going to be great. And we have a little bit of overlap here that I want to point out. Optimize means we're just going to do some troubleshooting, make sure that things are working the way that we want to if we need to make any adjustments. But you'll see this is April, May, and the second one also April, May, analyze and build, begin. So there will be some overlap between those 2 phases of the project. It's already begun. So we're assembling the team. That's going really well. As of August 16th, the analyze phase begins, and that's where Myers-Holem, you'll also hear us call them MHI, Myers-Holem Incorporated. That's when they will lead us through some discovery so that we can identify our business needs and how our current state works and how we want our future state to look. They draw up the functionality, and process area teams. Many of you received a little invitation from me to hear that you're on the process area team. So if that's you, perk up your ears. We'll be heavily engaged in this. So you will get invitations shortly from somebody from Myers-Holem. His name is Dominic Ryba. He will be giving us a few invitations to those discovery sessions. I just wanted to bring the name in front of your eyes because you can never be too careful when you're getting something from the outside. That is legitimate, and it's somebody that you do want to accept the meeting so that we can work on this together. And then the build phase comes up, where the setup, config, and testing occurs. Integrations and data are loaded, and testing plans are executed and completed. Ready? Validate is exactly that during that testing phase, and convert is bringing everything over. Final configurations, moving actually to production instead of the sandboxes is what they're called in NetSuite. So the different areas where you can play around and not mess with actual production data. We will have that availability like our test companies, but this is when we go live for real. And then optimize is hypercare, making sure that we've got everything taken care of, and if things aren't behaving the way that they were designed, that we fix that. To manage this project, I want to call out that we have some teams assembled already, And these are easily identifiable by who's involved in daily activities, who's meeting bi-weekly and bi-monthly. So our daily activities are those process area teams, and lots of you already know about that and are a part of those. Our steering committee has been in existence for quite some time now. So the steering committee will make sure, it's steering, that the project is on track and that their teams are executing what they need to be doing so. And the governance committee is making sure that things are on time, on budget, and we're managing scope so we don't start to move into areas that were not intended, and also dealing with change control. If we need to change design, that approval process. So that's a basic flow of how we're going to manage this. And as we give more information on that, as the project continues, it may seem like it's a ton of people and a lot of meetings, and maybe in some people who haven't been through an ERP migration seems like overkill, but that's on purpose. It's on purpose because there is a ton of things to be aware of and keep on top of, and communication is incredibly important in this case so that we do it right, and we do it right the first time. My dad loved to say that. If you're going to do something, do it right. Ready? So to keep yourself informed, I've invited everybody to a couple of different sites. Luxor's Ruby Slippers was formed quite some time ago, and some of you may already know it as a place that we post resources for how to get things done. Sometimes it's simple Sage errors. How do you fix that on your own? Luxor's Ruby Slippers now functions as a news site also. So posting news about project updates, that will continue. There's also a blog now, and you've been invited to a Teams channel for Luxor's Ruby Slippers that has a channel for the blog. That's the place to engage. Let's talk to each other. If you have questions, if you have concerns, if you have celebrations, you want to offer praise, that's the perfect spot to talk to one another. And our process area team leads are going to keep an eye on that very closely to be able to answer those questions. So it's a whole group effort. And of course, yes, the place that we're going to have all of these wonderful meetings that you're super excited about is here in the Waukegan office in the Quick Boost conference room. So that's going to become the ERP project team room, which is fantastic. And also, please be sure, as Paul had already mentioned also, when you're feeling that sense of this is an awful lot being asked of me, be talking with your manager, and managers also be talking with your teams to just keep a gauge on what that's like, because change is hard. And that's a given, whether it's an exciting change or an awful change. You can have either opinion and it's still a challenge. And we want to support you through that change. We want to help you when you reach that point where you say, okay, yeah, I'm really excited about leaving Sage, but I don't know anything about this new world. That may hit you hard at some point. It might not. Maybe you're going to celebrate your whole way through. But if it does, give yourself that grace to understand that you're not defined by how you did your job in Sage. That's not what makes you valuable here. It's your mind, it's what you're contributing, it's your dedication to the team, to the strategic goals, and the entire group's hive mind of being Luxor Workspaces. So allow yourself to move through that discomfort, because it will get uncomfortable. We can be excited as much as we want, but it will get uncomfortable. And as we move through that together, perhaps on the other side of change is complete renewal or total redefinition of what you can see as possible in your role, in your job, in your entire vision of the company. It could be. So we got to hold each other's hands through that and get to the other side of change. So we're excited, and thanks for being involved.